All right, guys, welcome to the Unfiltered podcast for the daytime edition. We have two amazing show guests with us today. We're gonna have a great show. Let's get it.
Yo, how y'all doing? It's Seven Figure Friday. It's an amazing Friday. I've been doing a lot. I've been very productive. I hope y'all been very productive. Today, we're going to talk about courses. We're going to talk about getting money. We're going to talk about getting bread. Y'all know what it is every day, all day. Today, we have two amazing guests. I'll let them introduce themselves. Can I get y'all a name, age, and what y'all do for a living?
Yes. So my name is Carrera. I'm 27. And I am a stretch coach, stretch therapist, and I'm also a performance coach for athletes.
You say you're 27?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I thought you were like 20 or 21.
I know. I get that all the time.
So for people that don't know what that is, what does that job entail? Like, what are the details for that?
Yeah. So as on the stretch therapy side, I actually do like all the table stretching. So if anybody has heard of Stretch Jones, something similar where I put you on the table, I'm giving you a full body stretch from head to toe. Then also we'll hop on the floor and do like actual mobility work similar to yoga, but it's more geared to like performance and how you live your daily life. And then on performance side, like taking the athletes through their weight room workouts, all their warm-ups on the field, all their speed work, I assist and I coach with that as well.
Can you give us, without getting in trouble, like give us the most famous athlete you've worked with?
So
LeBron James?
No, I've actually worked with, so one of my main guys is David Njoku, tight end for the Cleveland Browns.
Okay, I know who that is. He's a beast.
Yeah, so that's one of my main guys that I work with. Okay. So waiting for them to get back from the season, so I get to just have them for the off season, get them back healthy, because throughout the season they take a big beating.
That's dope. If in case we have like any fans, man, maybe you because I know you work on the same field, right? I know you work with one of my favorites. But I'll let you introduce yourself before we get into all that.
What's poppin', Unfiltered? It's your boy Evans Aristel. I'm from New York. I'm 27 years old. I just moved down to Miami. I work with a lot of athletes that are pretty much trying to get into the NFL. So I work as an NFL Combine prep coach. So we help prepare a lot of like last year's top talent get ready for the NFL, get them ready for the biggest interview of their life. And I got to work with some pretty cool players last year, and I got to shadow and learn from like a lot of dope mentor trainers that are like celebrity trainers and like GOATs in the field.
Yeah. So can you name us one of the most like who's your favorite to work with? Into the mic, sorry. Go ahead.
Favorite person to
with.
work The favorite person I had the opportunity to work with, the funniest dude, I'm gonna be honest, was Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson, for the Vikings, right?
Yeah, Minnesota Vikings.
Shout out to him. He's killing it this year. Okay, cool. So what I was gonna say is, how do you guys feel, man, working with all these like celebrities, all these athletes?
Well, for me, I grew up in the field. So my dad was a football coach growing up. So I know I grew up around football since the time I was 5 years old. So for me, it's just like an everyday thing. It's like I see I'm like, yo, what's up? Like y'all the bros.
Yeah.
So I know, especially like when it comes for being a female, like, they wanna clout chase, they want to do everything. But for me, I'm just like, you guys are like my brothers. You guys are everyday people to me. So for me, it's normal.
And they're regular people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Super regular.
A lot of people think that they're like they act differently, but they're like I've met celebrities and influencers. They're regular people.
Yes.
It's just when they're on camera, they just perform.
Exactly.
All right, so we'll get to some of the chats because I know the chats are coming in. But yeah, man, how do you feel about coming from New York, moving to Miami? Because we did something similar. That was a big risk that you took.
Yeah, so for people that don't know, I took the opportunity of a lifetime. It was an internship at House of Athlete in Weston, Florida, which is probably like 40 minutes from South Beach. They're like, hey, we're looking for some guys. And I was blowing up on TikTok. So I have 147,000 followers on TikTok for training and sports performance. They told me they like my energy. So they're like, hey, if you want to come down and work with like some of our guys heading into the NFL, come down. Like, we're not going to pay you, like it's free. Like, it was just a huge risk. And I was at the point where I was just like, it was one of those points where preparation meets opportunity. Like, I prepared myself the last 5 years since 2018 working with high school athletes. And then, I had the opportunity and I just kind of took the leap of faith. I packed everything and moved out of Miami, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, when did you move down here?
I officially moved down here October 2022, but the first time I came down here was January through March of
you moved down here a little bit after I did, because I moved in like July. Like I came in June, but officially like at the end of June, early July is when I moved, like officially. And we've been here for 2 months now.
Yeah, 2 months.
So we did the same thing. He came from Atlanta.
Yeah.
I met this guy, and let me tell you how, like, he did the most G shit I've ever, like, he came down here. I don't know if you want me to disclose that shit, but he's like he's in a group.
Just they know already. It's public knowledge at this point.
So he's in a war room, right? And so the war room, like, there's a lot of big names in there. And he came down here. He wanted to basically network with like the Fresh and Fit crew.
Right.
He came down here, and literally that day he met like Sneeko. You hooked up with Jay Waller that same day. And he told me after that night, he's like, bro, I want to move to Miami. Right. And I like, my whole life I've always had people just say shit. Just, people just talk. And so I was like, yeah, it's cool. Like, and he was like, nah, I'm serious, man. I'm from Atlanta. He flew back. Did you fly? But you flew back to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then I think 2 days later, he was like, yo, I'm moving down here. I was like, all right, bet. So he came down here. We started working together. Never seen something like that before, where I meet someone and they're like, yo, Miami's a spot. Like, there's an endless amount of money down here. The connections are crazy. You can literally just meet any celebrity. And I'm moving down here. And I thought he was playing. Yeah. 2 days later, he moved down here. And I was like, whoa. So that tells me a lot about a person. Right. Because I did the same thing. I was in Baltimore. Right. And I did the same thing. I met up with Myron. And I was like, hey, man, I'm coming down here. And he said he probably thought the same thing about me. He probably thought I was just bullshitting. I moved down here a few days later and drove 18 hours from Maryland to Miami. It's a long ass fucking drive. But yeah, man, I think that people that take those risks are always the most successful.
Because you can't get rewarded without taking risks.
No.
That's with anything in life.
And here's the thing. You're gonna suffer either way. Yeah. So like, if I had stayed in Baltimore, I'd be suffering right now, because Baltimore is not a very like beautiful area to live in. You know what I mean? There's not really much peace over there. It's poverty. Right. It's a lot of ugliness over there. And I'm here in Miami. I look out this beautiful window sometimes on the balcony on the 38th floor. Jimmy Butler lives upstairs, by the way. And I'm like, wow, man, I'm here. You know what I mean? And yeah, rent's a lot, and it's expensive down here, but it's worth it with the connections I've met you. I've met a lot of other people. And it's just great, man, like how everybody starts to kind of like network together, help each other out. A lot of people also don't know that you own a jet ski company, right? So you want to tell them about that?
Yeah, for sure. Jet Life Jet Skis. We're based in Miami currently, but pretty much what happened was last summer, because I'm from New York, so we only get 3 seasons. I mean, we only get 3 months out of the year to ride jet skis. So like, when I tell people like, yo, I have jet skis in New York, they're like, what? Where do you ride? So we ride in the Hudson River. We don't swim in it though. Hudson. We just ride there.
It's dirty.
It's dirty as hell. The water's brown. It's crazy.
Yo, I wouldn't even want to get on the jet ski.
I'll
fall in the water. I'll be like, yo, hell nah.
All that dirty water on
just
your
the
feet.
fear of falling off.
Oh God.
Just the fear of falling off that would have me feeling some type of way. Because I used to stay at the one hotel a lot, and you could see the Hudson. And I'm telling you, bro, like, even they have those boats, and in New York you can get on those boats that give you like a tour. I don't even want to get on those, bro. Everything, New York's just a really dirty city.
It's dirty, bro.
So how was it? How was business over there?
Oh yeah, so I did really well. So I actually created my own Shopify store. So created my own Shopify website. The store was in the top 8% of Shopify stores created for that month of August 2022, because I was just getting so much traffic to my website because I was the only jet ski business in a 50 square mile radius. So whenever somebody Googled jet skis or rentals, I was the guy they called. So business boomed. In August of 2022 was my last month and my best month. I hit $10,000 in the month of August renting jet skis. So that was
nice.
In New York.
In New York.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. And how's Miami looking for you so far?
So Miami's been a huge transition for me. Just being able to find, where to keep the skis and everything. I finally have the location. I had my first rental last weekend. But for Miami, I'm definitely playing the long game because the market is extremely saturated. I'm competing with big players that like they're spending thousands of dollars a day on ads. So the only way for me to really pop is, you just hit the ground running, and you got to just, whoever you meet, you got to just give them a flyer. Hey, how you doing? I'm new.
Yeah.
I have a jet ski rental business, and you just got to connect with as many people as possible in person, because the big time yacht companies and brokers are killing the ads games. They're killing the Google games. Stuff like that.
And that's one thing about Miami. When people come down here, that's one of the things that they want to do is jet ski. They want to get on yachts. They want to get on jet skis.
Yes.
Yo, the lifestyle is different. You see the real Miami when you hop on a yacht or you hop on a jet ski.
Yeah.
Very active.
We've been here a few months and we have yet to be on a yacht, and I really don't care about it, to be honest. I would get on some jet skis though. I'm not gonna lie.
So it's best, like, boat life is everything, but like when you have like a jet ski that pulls up to the yacht, so you could just hop on a jet ski from the yacht and just go riding and come back, get back on the yacht, do your thing. Like, I'm like, that's my day. I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
That's the
So for the jet skis, like, what do you have to do? Do you get like tied to them, or how does that work?
So you mean,
like, you know how when you surf, they have like something tied to the surfboard?
Oh, you never jet ski, bro?
I've never jet skied before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the new people that's never ridden a jet ski before, pretty much, you have a lanyard that goes on your wrist or your life vest. It's pretty much the key. So the key, just like I guess it's similar to think about a quad, or a car, but on the left side, you just put the key in the ignition, and it just attaches to it, and then you press a button, like kind of like a push to start. You press and hold it, and then that's what starts the engine, and you start moving at about 3 miles per hour slowly without even touching the gas.
Yeah.
So if you're just in the water and the engine's off, you're not going to move. You're just floating. But once you hit the start button, you start moving forward. A lot of people don't know that. You start moving forward about 3 miles an hour. And then once you hit the gas, that's when you really start riding.
Yeah.
So pretty much, you have your life jackets, because it's required to have a life jacket when you ride a jet ski. You don't have to have a life jacket on a boat. But when you're on the skis, you have your life jacket, and then you have your key hooked up to the life jacket. So some wild boys out there, because they're wild in Miami, bro.
Yeah.
You should see the tricks that they're doing, hanging off the back. Like,
that was my next question to you was, what's the top speed on one of those?
So it depends on the brand that you get. Kawasaki, from what I've heard, is the fastest brand. I personally use Yamahas and Sea-Doos, but my Yamaha's topping out at 50 miles per hour, 49 miles per hour.
Okay.
My Sea-Doos topping out at 37 miles per hour. And there's a key for it. So like for beginners, you can give a beginner a starter key. So like they're capped at like 30 miles per hour.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 30 miles per hour, that feels like 60 in a car. It's not the same at all.
And you're in water.
You're on that water.
Guys, if you ever want to come, if you're in Miami or if you're in Florida, or if you come down here, because I know we got some messages that a lot of people were coming down here recently.
Yep.
Hit them up, man. Both of their links are going to be on a bio, and just obviously let them know that you saw them on the show, and I'm pretty sure they'll hook you up. Anwar, can you do me a favor and get to some of these chats, bro?
Yeah, we got a bunch. Urameshi asked, Kanye showed text of his personal trainer threatening to put him in the mental ward and take his own children away from him. Do celebrity trainers typically have this much power?
Good question, man. Celebrity trainers do. You guys do get personal with these athletes. So, how do you guys feel about that? And why would the trainer threaten him like that? I'm a little bit confused.
So I guess, he must have had to say something, or for that trainer to feel threatened to even do that. And when you are in such a close place, like in a close space with them, it's easy for them to feel like family. Like a lot of my guys, I'm like, yo, you guys like my brothers, like their family is like my family. So that person must have had to be threatened at some point, or feel like their kids are not safe, or he's not safe, or like he's seen a different side to Kanye most likely than that most people don't see. And we already see a lot on social media.
Right.
So it's like, only imagine what the people behind closed doors are seeing, or how they're being treated.
Right.
So whether he's spazzing out on him, I don't know. But it's one of those, you see everything. You see 100% raw, unfiltered.
Right.
So that's probably the one thing about being in our field, is like we're in such a close space to them, and we're such an intimate space where we see things that not everybody else sees. Or like sometimes like people might say like, oh, this person is like an asshole or a jerk on TV, but like you see him like, nah, he actually really cool.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the main reason why he probably had to threaten that.
Gotcha. What do you think about that?
I think he had to have done something. Like he had to really be wilding for like somebody to do that, because like the trainer must have really been like concerned for his mental health and his personal health. Like he might have been, on the verge of harming himself. Like she said, like we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We only see what people show us, especially celebrities. So I don't think that's common. I don't think I've ever heard of like a regular trainer or any other trainer that has like been like, all right, let's get this guy locked in a psych ward.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it's like she said, like the athletes we train, we see them so much. That's why we have such a good relationship with them. We're literally working out with them, like, especially like for the combine, literally 5 days a week for hours. Like you get to know people real personally. So you build that relationship. But that definitely is like a one-off case. Like,
Gotcha.
I think also as a trainer or anybody, like, I wouldn't air that out to nobody either.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things, like things are supposed to be confidential.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's get to some of these other chats, bro. Go ahead.
Okay.
David Jones asked the guests if they ever had clients trying to hook up with them and how they turned down their advances.
That's a good question, actually. Go ahead. I'll let you answer that one.
I get that a lot.
All right, go ahead.
I've had some wild stuff happen, but for me, like, it's easily no. Like for me, it's a hard no.
Are you in a relationship?
No.
Okay, so it's
happens all the time.
Okay.
But even like on a normal day basis, we know this. Guys don't care if you're in a relationship. They're like, you can't have friends.
Yeah.
No.
Word.
No.
Word.
No. Negative. No.
So you're one. So okay.
So it's mainly no, but it's also like in the grounds of how you say it. Like you like no.
Yeah, yeah.
Or no,
yo,
I can't.
she's speaking right now.
Or it's like,
so here's
no.
the thing.
Now, if you do a hard blunt no, I feel like they might not work with you, because they'll feel like, oh, my feelings are hurt, and they might feel insecure or some way. They're like, I'm an athlete, I'm a millionaire.
Yeah,
fuck you doing? Like, what you talking about?
And I said that, I'd be like,
yeah. Here's the thing. I've had girls say no to me before in that manner, where you were like, no, and I'm like, oh, okay, I know she wants to chase, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I've had girls be like, nah, I'm good. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, all right, cool. I know you're good. You know what I mean? Just based off the way she answered it, just based off the way that she went about it. So, what about you? You've had do you mostly train men? I'd assume you would, right? Mostly men.
I would say my audience primarily is men, but I also work with the ladies that are trying to. Most of the time, it's the girls that are trying to like get a bigger ass. Per se. But to be honest, you'd be surprised. My answer is I have never hooked up with one of my clients.
Yeah.
One of the biggest like things like I was taught like when I was younger was you separate pleasure and business.
Yeah.
Don't eat where you shit.
Yeah.
Because it gets mixy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We say the same thing here. Because we have a lot of girls coming in and out the studio. So we say the same thing. We're like, hey man, business is business and personal is personal. You know what I mean? Any other ones, bro? Go ahead.
Yeah, Miyazaki Lee had like a addition to that. He said, the pervert has a question. He calls himself the pervert.
Okay.
How often do the trainers hear about trainers smashing their celebrity clients? Is it prevalent?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty common, bro. I mean, think about it. Like you're sharing intimate time with that person, and then in a lot of situations you're massaging these people, you're touching these people, and you know, and I'd assume it's in a private setting, right?
Yeah.
So come on, man, like it happens a lot.
Yes.
But I'll let you answer it. Go ahead.
I mean, it happens a lot. Obviously, a lot of people keep it under hush because like that's your rep.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, people talk.
Yeah.
Like privacy is not privacy.
Yeah.
So like let's say I smash one of my guys or you smash one of your girls, like, yo, you go tell the home, like, yo, guess what I did? Like, nothing's ever private.
Yeah.
So people do it thinking that it's going to be hush, but everything comes to light at some point.
Here's the thing though, if very like, and there's a lot of them, especially here in Miami and Florida, if a very famous athlete like sleeps with a woman and she goes and tells everybody, now it makes her look bad.
It makes her look bad, and then but also, oh, that's a touch.
I mean, yeah, we got to tiptoe around that because what's his name? Deshaun Jackson.
Watson.
Watson. I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson. Damn it. Let me not put Jackson from the Baltimore Ravens.
Don't do that.
Watson got in trouble for stuff like that. He was getting massages. And you allegedly,
Deshaun
right?
Watson is what, the Texans guy?
He was for the Texans, bro, and
the Browns.
He's the wide receiver, right?
No, he's a quarterback. He's a quarterback. And he was, you know what the weird thing about him is, and this is what makes him look guilty, is he had so many. Like, it wasn't like 2, it was like 22, if I'm not mistaken.
22?
Yeah,
22. What?
It was like almost 30.
Like women accusing him of like basically whipping his shit out during massages. And stuff like that. Like trying to get that happy ending.
Well, no, he was getting that happy. Allegedly, he was getting a happy ending.
Pressure to do.
Ain't no way 22 and none of them did it. Like, it was clearly he was working.
But listen though, it ruined his whole career. I mean, like, he's still playing.
His reputation. And
he, don't get me wrong, he did get paid by the Cleveland Browns. I think that was a stupid deal on their part. But his reputation is never, like, ever. And then when it comes to, like, if he ever gets into the Hall of Fame, that's one of the main things they're going to look at. You know what I mean? Like, with Terrell Owens, they made him wait forever to get into the Hall of Fame just because he had so much, like, baggage with him.
Right.
So, yeah, but, yeah, bro, we can get to another question. Go ahead.
Yurmeshi asks, question for the guests. How lonely are these celebrities truly? It seems they can't trust anyone. Once
shout out to
their hotel room, they got no one.
Yo, shout out to the chat because they're asking really great questions. Shout out to them.
From my perspective, it really just depends on like who their base is. So like a lot of the guys, like music industry and athletic and like the sports world is different.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've noticed that in the music industry they have bigger entourages.
They do.
Whereas the sports world, I notice a lot of people who's close to them or around them all the time is their family, their friends, people who they've been around for a long time. And at some point, a lot of them, they do have a bigger entourage. They learn who really is and who really isn't there for them.
Yeah.
And a lot of time that comes like later down in their career.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them are lonely. Some of them actually are lonely, but some of them, like, they do have a good base around them.
Here's the thing, though. For athletes, you actually have to physically work to become something.
Yeah.
For rappers, all you're doing is rapping, you know? And I'm not saying that it's not hard, but to be an athlete, you're actually out there putting your body on a line.
Yeah.
So your crowd is going to be a lot different. You're going to care more for the people that are around you because they've really helped you. As far as rappers, you could be a famous rapper and the guy that you went to middle school with is just going to be around. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'll let you get a touch on that one. How lonely are the people that you train? Or how lonely, if they're lonely at all, in your opinion?
Yeah, so I think it really depends. Like, it's a pretty broad question. From what I've seen, like the athletes I've been around, like they have like good camaraderie because like my specific niche is football players. So you guys can think back like college football players. Like if you went to college, like the college football players, they all were together.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a fraternity.
Yeah.
So like I feel like football players all have bros. They have mad bros. So I personally don't think at least anybody I know is like truly like lonely. They don't have friends, at least like from football players' perspective.
And to piggyback off of that, like even because we did the combine training together last year at HOA as an athlete. And it's cool because like they're all like grinding. They in the mud for 8 weeks trying to go for the biggest interview of their life. And it's crazy because they all come from different schools, different backgrounds. And it's crazy to see how they transition into the league.
Yeah.
How they all are still close because they went through that hard time with each other where they just needed each other.
Yeah.
And they stick with each other throughout the rest of their careers. So that's a cool thing to watch.
And you see a lot of times like in football where teammates that played on the same school, they'll go to opposite teams and they still have like so much respect and love for each other because they, like you said, they went through the trenches together.
Literally, that's what it is. Like, it's hard to describe, but like when you're literally like training like to the point of near like passing out, like you're grinding with the person next to you. You just build a different level of bond, different level of connection that's different from like obviously like
it's the same way in the military. It's like you're doing the exact same thing the person to your left and the right is doing. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, you can't fold.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You're gonna push the guy next to you like, yo, let's get this.
Exactly.
Like,
when you look to the right, are you gonna
Yeah.
stop doing your push up because
Yeah.
you're on 100? Nah, you gonna keep going because he going.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it definitely they definitely push each other that way. Any other questions, bro? Go ahead. Yo, chat, keep bringing questions, bro.
Yeah, Miyazaki Lee got another one. He said, question for the guest. Do you ever spend time outside the gym with your clients? How strict are you about professionalism?
Yo, they're getting on y'all. Good
I know.
questions. You ever spend time with clients outside the gym?
Mhm.
You do?
Yeah. So it's the cool thing about working in sports.
I'd
I would say-
imagine that it would be really hard for you to maintain a relationship
Yeah.
because
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
because of what you
yeah,
do.
there's that.
You
'Cause
hanging
everybody's
out athletes.
I mean,
they're
like-
high value men. They're like,
Yeah.
guys would be insecure about it.
That's my issue.
Think about it. Like you like if someone's courting you, getting to know you,
yeah.
and you say, "Yeah, I work with famous athletes." You know, a lot of these guys have a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Most of them, at least from what it looks like, they're very well rounded and
Right.
they're attractive men, right?
Right.
And even if they're not attractive, just being, and I forgot who it was that said this, was it Josh or you yesterday, where it was like, you don't even have to be attracted. If you hit the gym, you're gonna be
Yeah, that was
attractive,
Josh.
right?
That was Josh.
Because it's just
Yeah.
like your physique, it looks nice, right?
Yeah.
And then we see a lot of this shit on Instagram, a lot of ugly face girls with a nice body, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's really hard for men to kind of especially with you massage them, right? Or you stretch
like-
them out.
Yeah, I'm doing their stretch.
Yeah, man, it would be really hard for you to come home and be like, yeah, you know,
Fuck that. You got me fucked up.
you know,
And that's not insecurity. That's territorialism. Fuck that.
yeah.
Nah, you're not gonna just rub on a guy and then come home. Fuck out of here.
But like when I come home to you, you get your own personal like massage. You
I
get a
get
whole
that.
meal, a whole everything.
But like,
get
I'm not.
that.
It's not
I-
special. Like you just massage a whole other guy. Like
But it's different. like you set the vibe different.
because you doing it
So-
now because
so-
you just had to do it for other guys.
Yeah.
Like fuck.
So what are you gonna do different for me that you haven't done for him? Because I'm pretty sure you're doing your best with these guys, right? That's your
Yeah.
job.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it goes back to that whole like business personal situation.
Mhm.
Like when it's business, like literally it's like, all right, get to the point. What's going on? Like might talk about life a little bit. Great. Now, if you my mans, like you don't get a nice rub down. Like you don't get like it's the touch is different.
Mhm.
Like a professional touch, like, all right, I'm doing my job. A sensual touch is like more like caressing, more soothing. Like I'm here to make you feel good.
Gotcha.
And then like I'm gonna set the music, the vibe, the ambiance.
Mhm.
Like I'm one of those, like, let's set the whole mood.
Mhm.
You're gonna have a whole dinner, you're gonna have a drink, because I also bartend. So you're gonna have a drink, you're gonna have a whole meal, you're gonna have everything that comes with it.
Okay.
Whereas somebody who's paid me is like, all right, I'm gonna work on you, time to dip.
Yeah.
That's it.
What about you? You spend with time with clients outside the gym?
Yeah, a lot of the clients that I work with back home in New York are like family to me. Those are my guys. And like I work with like high school athletes. So it's like, think back to when you were like 16, 17, 18. Like I don't chill with them like on that level. Like, yo, let's go to the club, because obviously they're young bulls.
Mhm.
But like, you know, to reward them or something like that, like we'll go out to hibachi, we'll go out to eat. But nah, I don't really chill with my clients like that.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Cool.
And
Cool.
I will also say, just to piggyback on that, that's the cool thing about the sports industry, or even entertainment as a whole. Like that's where you network at. So like a lot of agents, they go out with their guys or like whoever their clients are. Even like we have to do like dinners, or like let's say if it's a draft party, like your client might, or your athlete might invite you to their draft party just to like celebrate a big moment.
Mhm.
So for us in our industry, like it's like it's a cool work and play balance, but you have to know your boundaries. Especially as a female, you have to know your boundaries. So it's like, yeah, we all out at dinner. Like, oh yeah, we all at the club, but we just chilling. Like I be like, girls be like, Isaac, go take him.
Yeah.
Take him. Go after him. Do whatever you want.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want him.
Cool. Cool. Good questions by the chat, man. Any other ones, bro? Go ahead.
Hey,
Yeah,
before you read them,
Gotcha.
hey, it's 11 of y'all in here. Let's get the likes up, subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit the bell so you get notified every time we go live. Join the Discord. Like I said, 50K by June 10th. I'm taking 2 people on a cruise with us. I'll pay for it completely. 50K, and you have to be in the Discord because I'm choosing from the Discord.
Yeah, guys. And thanks for the chat, man. You guys are asking amazing questions. Go ahead, bro.
Urameshi asked, question for the entire panel. Do you think the mental health stuff is very overblown? It seems it's promoted to keep the populace weak, fighting on the invisible enemy.
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
That's a very I don't know, bro.
That's very complex question.
I could drop a quick
go ahead,
one
bro.
on that. So, for the record, I'm gonna say it's not overblown because I actually had in high school one of my teammates actually committed suicide. Like when I was probably like 15 years old, 16 years old, and he was probably like 16 or 17. So like mental health is real.
It is.
And like the crazy thing about it, right? This invisible enemy is that like you don't see it. Like we said, we're with our athletes all the time. Like this kid who I'm talking about that committed suicide was like the definition of like the star athlete, pretty boy. All the girls loved him, funny. You would never think for a second he was fighting demons, and he ended up, taking his own life.
Yeah.
So I think mental health is like, especially among like football players and like everyone else that's dealing with it. I think it's like huge.
Yeah, I'll say this. Mental health is, for me, it's definitely a real thing. And I think it's not talked about enough. But I also I feel like sometimes when you go into that type of conversation, you tend to victimize yourself a lot.
Yeah.
And so I try to be really careful when I do go into those type of moments, and I'm like, you know what, I am feeling this type of way, but I'm also not a victim, because I think that's where people fall. Everybody goes through stuff.
Yeah.
And when you start to say, oh, what was me, and I'm the only one dealing with that, then you start having that victim mentality, and then you start kind of drowning in that.
Right.
I don't like that personally.
Well, I think one of my things is how often does somebody actually ask you, how are you?
Rarely.
It's like, hey, how are you? But it's like, no,
right.
How are you?
Right.
We never really stop to I make it intentional for me to ask somebody, how are you? Somebody at the register, how are you?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people are not asked that question and it's brushed over. And that's how you can really tell like where somebody's mental health is. And we should start asking those questions more often to people. Because like I'm the strong friend in my group. I'm the friend, like I'm there for everybody. But it's like how often is somebody's like, Career, how are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, rarely.
Yeah.
So, and then I think it's one of those things like some people don't want to get too caught up in other people's lives or feel like they're like beating or getting too deep into somebody's personal.
Yeah.
But it's like, I just want to make sure you're good at the end of the day.
Yeah. Agreed. 100%. What do you think on that, Basil?
Men's mental health is, it's a real thing. I don't think it's a topic that a lot of people touch on. I think men try to keep it within themselves because they feel like social media or people might frown upon them, or they're scared to speak up and express how they're feeling, which then just pushes them even into a deeper, darker mental state. So I think we should start talking about it more, but I still think men aren't going to do it just because we like the tough macho act.
Yeah, I mean, the statistics are out there. Men definitely end their lives way more than women. And, I see women, at least they have TikTok and social media. They can go on there and kind of vent. If a guy does it, he's considered very, very weak. And it's unfortunate. And even like, we have to be careful, even as men. Sometimes I have situations where like, I'll just talk to my boys and I'll just be like, yo, how are you? You know what I mean? Like, you good? And we'll have like private conversations that stays between us. And, we keep each other going. But yeah, and I didn't always have, my boys. Like for most of my life, I was alone.
Right.
And at one point in time, I did consider, self-deleting. I was younger though.
Right.
And I was going through way, way more. But and I was also mentally weak.
Right.
But yeah, man, it definitely helps to have a good support system. And I think a lot of men don't have that. So those are my thoughts on mental health, bro. We can move on to the next question. Go ahead.
Captain Caveman, question for the male cast. How did you break into your line of work? It can't be easy for something like that.
Nah, man. Look, man, I'll start off by saying, this time last year, I was working Uber 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. That shit was exhausting. The only reason why I would stop working was because Uber actually has a limit on how long you can work, and they'll actually kick you off. I like the rush though. I like the hustle. I like driving in general, and I love meeting new people. And I like the money too. It was tax free because with Uber you don't get taxed until the end of the year. And then you gotta kind of like finesse that and go into like deductions and all that shit. Shout out to my tax person. But I got into this because I knew I wanted something more for my life. I was in the Baltimore area. It's not too much fun over there. It's not too much going on over there. And I knew I wanted to reach out to people, and what better way than to come over here and learn from probably I mean, hands down, they're the hottest podcast in Miami. And I was, working with the main host over there. So I learned a lot from him. And I'm really grateful for that. And now I'm just, 4 weeks in now into this podcast, and if I'm not mistaken, we're probably almost at 1,000 subscribers. We're at what, like 990. We're 994. So by the end of tonight, we'll be at 1,000. So that's especially considering the fact that we didn't work all Christmas week, and New Year's week. So we're super grateful, and we wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. But it always helps to meet people like you guys too, that are entrepreneurs, and you guys are doing your own thing. And here in Miami, that's the one thing I'll say that I like about Miami. You can literally, especially in these buildings, you can run into so many people that can get you to the next level. So that's basically for me. I don't know if you guys want to touch on yours.
For me, it was when I was 15, and I heard the old quote that Rockefeller said. He said, I want a community. No, I wanted a society full of workers, not thinkers.
Right.
So when I heard that, I was like, oh, the system's broke. And I can tell by school. I go to school 8 hours a day, and I'm not really learning shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, the shit that I'm going to need in the real world, like, no. And I don't want to work a 9 to 5. It's bullshit to me. So at 15, left school. I did online school, so I did still graduate and get my diploma. I graduated at 16. 2 years later, went to the military. I ended up getting injured. Right after I got injured, I went home and I was like, all right, well, I'm not doing a 9 to 5. So we need to grind. You got the discipline from the military. You need to use it correctly. Right. So then I started watching people like Dan Pena, Andrew Tate. And that's what just pushed me to another level. I then found Iman Ghazi, and he taught me how to start a marketing agency. And from there was this 10K months. I was like, okay, well, shit.
I think the main thing is, first off, why is that only for the male cast?
Yeah. Right.
Women in sports is very few of us.
Yeah, it is.
It's really hard.
Yeah,
but I think the biggest thing, piggyback up kind of what you're saying, is like the biggest thing really is your network is your net worth.
Correct.
When I heard that as a kid, like you didn't realize how important that is.
No, you don't get it
until you're actually like in your industry trying to make something of yourself.
Listen, man, for everybody watching, I'll say this. School is great. I'm not gonna sit here and say don't go to school. Like if you're gonna be a doctor or somebody important, go to school. But like I knew someone that went to school, got in debt, I think almost $50,000 to be like a social worker, came out making $45K a year. I'm like, God damn, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like the school is broken for the most part. But I would say this: moving down here to Miami, the people that I've met, I've made more money working with successful people, managing their accounts, managing their calls and stuff like that, than I've made working for a job that I thought like had my best interest. I was working my last month, I made 30K working with my phone, literally working off my phone, and it was all tax free. Oh shit, I probably shouldn't have said that. But but yeah, so like your network is really your network.
Yes.
And people need to understand that. And I don't mean like your boy across the street. Like it has to be someone of importance. You know what I mean? Like for instance, you guys are connected to big celebrities. We've been, well, I know you are, and definitely myself. Even here in Miami, I went out last night and went out for a sandwich, and I ran into Sneeko. You never know who you're gonna run into down here.
Correct.
Like it's Miami. So I'll let you touch on that though.
So pretty much I played football my whole life, so that's kind of where I get like everything that I currently do now from. So after football, I didn't make it to the NFL. Unfortunately, it's not easy to make it to the league. So shout out to everybody that does make it to the league.
It's not easy.
And then I just went back to my hometown high school and started training the high school athletes, and I started giving them game. Basically, became a mentor. Taught them everything I learned, and then I started getting people results. And I first started I was working out with people for like $10 an hour. I was like, yo, bro, you just trying to work out? Like, yo. And then you get people results, and then people see you, word of mouth. Then you start getting out there, and then you start I just started going crazy with content. Since 2018, I've been like shooting workout videos in the gym. It wasn't the best quality, but now look at this now.
And that's really important too that you said that, because you're pretty big on TikTok. I started TikTok 2 weeks ago, and I'm amazed at how fucking fast I'm growing. And it's because of the after every show, the nighttime show, we'll have reels, and it's crazy. Like it's just fucking crazy. TikTok, I've always heard about it. I've always heard that TikTok was like the most organic, like you can come up so fast. Yeah, bro, we go viral on there, and it's so easy. Like on Instagram, it's not the same thing.
No.
So shout out to you though. I know I'm a bit late, but TikTok guys, tune into TikTok, man. Any other ones, bro? Go ahead.
David Jones asked a female guest if she ever watched Olivia Newton-John's famous video Physical.
I have not.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
Miyazaki Lee. Question for the trainers: how do you deal with creepy celebrities? The power dynamic probably results in scary situations.
That's a good one. Have you guys ever had like creepy, uncomfortable celebrities?
I have not personally.
Okay.
So I'll let you.
You don't have to name anybody, but like, so can you walk us down through that type of situation?
So pretty much,
if you would like to name them, you can.
I'm not going to name them. But I was like pretty much I met his trainer on the plane on a flight from Houston Network.
Okay.
He was like, "Yo, I'm coming work with my athletes. Like, I want you to come work with him." I said, "Okay, bet." So I go work on him literally, and it's crazy because when I was at UCLA doing an internship there, he was there training with his team, and he would always stare at me, and I'd be like, "That's weird." And then just so happened when I go back 2 years later to go work on him at the house, it's the same thing. Every movement I make, walking this way, walking that way, like literally, eyes just panning, watching my every move. And for me, it was like one of those, all right, I'm gonna just keep my poise, still be professional. But once I leave this door, do not hit me up. I'm not coming back. I'm not working. And this is a big time athlete, a big time client. But it just goes to like, what are you worth?
Gotcha.
Like, so at that moment, it's like, I'll take my integrity. I don't need your money. I'll go find that somewhere else, because especially as a female, it can get awkward or uncomfortable, especially like when you are around a whole bunch of men.
So let me ask you this. You said that you were at his house.
Yeah. So he was training out here for the off season. So a lot of work I do is privately. So it's like,
isn't that dangerous though?
It could be.
Like you're a woman going to a guy's house.
So the trainer was cool. So like for me now, I only take clients based on word of mouth.
Yeah.
So you can't just come like, hey, I want to work on you. I want to work with you. No, if I don't know you, that's no. But if I got word of mouth from you, from different people, then yes, I'll backtrack it. Gotcha. And there are obviously NDAs,
of course,
all that good stuff.
All right, cool. Yeah, but I still think that's like if you were my girl, you couldn't just be going to people's houses, and it'd be real difficult. But let's get to another one. Go ahead.
MMP asks, question to the trainers: do you utilize holistic medicine or exercises in your workouts with your celebrities or with your clients?
I do not when it comes to medicines, just because of the
scope.
Well, scope of practice is one thing. If it's not my scope of practice, do not touch it. You could get sued for that. Biggest thing. Also, when it comes to different medicines, the NFL, the professional organizations, they have a very, very, very strict drug like policy.
Yeah, they don't play that.
So any little thing that pops up, that's the end of their season, possible career.
And it happens a lot, actually.
PED.
Yes, it happens a lot. And it's random too.
Used to be marijuana.
Yeah. What about you? You don't use anything? Okay, cool. No. Let's get to another question, bro. Go ahead.
MMPS, second question. What's y'all's thoughts on the celebrity trainers who work with the MCU actors? Are they doing usual techniques or magic on the actors' fit bodies?
What's MCU?
I need an example.
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
There's athletes working with MCU.
Steroids. Yeah, like Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah,
what about him?
We got to
roll for Adora. You got to, they got to.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right, cool. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, me personally, I would have to like see specifically like what you're talking about. Like if we had like a clip, like, and they're like, if the coach is like walking them like, all right, do this, I'm like, oh nah, he shouldn't be doing that. You can tell right away. But I'd have to see. I can't say because I haven't seen it. So.
Oh, what about you?
So for me, pretty much the same thing, and it's cinematic. So obviously they're gonna add their effects on there naturally. The extensive training that they go through, I'm not completely sure because that's not my scope of practice. But you can get somebody big within a short amount of time if you know what you're doing. But as far as like the cinematic effects, they do add that.
That's actually a really good question because I see some people that like they'll apply for a role and they have to. Their physique has to change like within 2 to 3 months, and it's
Yeah.
a huge change.
You'll see people have to get big
Yeah.
or get super small.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christian Bale does that a lot.
What-
He'll get super skinny and then he'll get ripped.
Which one's harder, getting super big or getting like super small?
I think
Getting big would be harder,
I would
right?
think it gets small. You
Really?
gotta starve yourself. Like,
it depends on the body type.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like me, let's say if I wanted to get big, if I wanted to build, that's easy. But I cannot get small.
Yeah.
Like that's just not in my genetics. So I can't do this role because I
Gotcha.
physically can't do it.
Okay.
So my answer to this is like, if you want to get shredded, you want to get big first and then lose the weight.
Okay. Gotcha. Any other ones, bro? Go ahead.
Austin Thompson, any advice to certified personal trainers trying to grow an online business?
Good question.
You need to holler at my man Brandon Carter. He helps trainers get right. If you're trying to start like an online training business, definitely look into him. I actually was in his program. So shout out to Brandon Carter.
yeah,
I actually
everyone's
kind of
in Brandon Carter's. Every personal trainer I know is always in Brandon Carter.
Yeah, shout out to Brandon Carter. He's a cool guy.
Is he like one of the top ones?
BC. He's definitely one of the top guys in the space just because of his he's like his personality is hilarious. He's funny as fuck. And like,
Yeah, he's
he knows
funny.
what he's talking about.
Bro, shout out to him, and I haven't talked to him in a while,
Shout
but
out-
he's really cool.
Shout out to BC,
Any other ones, bro? Go ahead.
Miyazaki, the pervert, has another question. What is a good lotion, oils, or creams to use for massages? Sensual but creamy/thick texture.
That was wild.
Wow.
Yo, what happened if the pedophile have commented that? I would have cried.
Wow. I mean, I worked in a PT clinic, a physical therapy clinic. So I just use what we use in the physical therapy clinic for my massages or like for my stretching or cupping or whatever.
What brand?
What is it called? I'm trying to think of it.
Johnson.
Nah.
I mean, I use a Vino.
You know, you can always hit that Vaseline. I can't think of if I find it, I'll look it up and I'll let you know. But it's what a lot of PT clinics use just because it has like the grip to it, if that makes sense.
So what I'll say is you need to look up on Instagram Brother Mole. Look up Brother Mole. He's like a goat in the space of like movement recovery and stuff like that. Like he like massages athletes and like does all that lotion stuff. So check him out.
You giving a lot of
Ask
shout outs, bro.
Good for him.
Like,
Shout people
you
out.
need to shout yourself out.
Any other ones, bro? Go ahead.
Yeah, we got a bunch.
We got to get ready for the next show too, bro. So let's get to
Yo,
these.
he's funny, bro. He's a question for the guest. What are the best workouts or where to focus to get a very strong grip strength?
Hey, man, any questions that are like stupid, let's skip over those, bro. Like a lot of these questions are like really, really weird, guys.
Here
Come
we
on.
go. Miyazaki Lee again. Question for the female trainer. What is your view on unequal pay between men and women in professional sports?
That's a good question.
What is my view? First off, it's not enough of us. So in professional sports, not only do women not get paid as much, but also they do not hire us. And you have to literally fight for your position. So one, like I know I haven't met a lot of women of color in the sports world. There's very few of us. So we have to fight for our positions just to not get paid equally.
Are you talking for like personal training or just professional athletes and all?
Professional athletes. So in the sports world as a whole.
Okay.
Here-
You think it's unequal though?
Yeah. No,
Okay. This is gonna be a little controversial, but I really like, for instance, I just started seeing that they're putting women now in like the NFL referees and women in basketball, if I'm not mistaken, right? Here's the thing. I don't think that women should do everything that men do. And the reason why is because, like, for instance, right, sometimes in basketball, there's like real fights. Like there's actual like fist fights. And I've seen the women that are refereeing. They're really fragile women. Like they're really small women. Like I look, I get it. Like if you want to referee the game, that's cool. But in a sense of like equal pay and stuff, they don't produce the same amount of product, right? Like it's not the same product. Like the female World Cup isn't being watched the same as like the male World Cup.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's unequal.
And so
Because you're not equally providing the same entertainment.
Can we be honest?
No.
Do you watch the WNBA?
So
Do you watch it? Yes or no?
I don't watch WNBA. However,
Neither do I.
my aunt is Violet. She was actually the first woman NBA ref for the Lakers.
Oh shit! Congrats to her.
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to her.
I grew up as a kid watching her ref the games. So,
so this isn't new. I thought it was new.
No, for NFL, yes.
Okay.
For NBA, no.
Okay.
She started repping like somewhere in the 90s, like late
Fun
90s.
fact: do you know that the WNBA actually goes negative every single year?
Yeah, they lose money.
They lose money every single year.
I'm not surprised. Okay, I'm not surprised by that because I just feel like when it comes to women's sports, it's almost like they're brushed under the rug.
But I mean, like, think about it. It's not as entertaining. They can't even dunk. I mean, if they're doing dunks, it's like boring. Like, oh, vertical jump. Like,
okay.
Like, I don't want to watch that. I'd rather see like something fun, like physicality.
All right. So here's my thing. If I have a business, right, and the WNBA has been trying to become profitable for so long now. If I have a business, and let's say for 5 years I have a restaurant, and that shit is negative every single year.
Negative $1 million.
I'm losing millions of dollars every single year. At some point, I'm just gonna be like, you know what, bro? Like, this is a failure. I'm gonna move on to the next thing, right? With women's sports, we don't do that. We're just like, oh, well, we have to give them sports because then it's, you know, it's like equality. And but again, it goes back to the point where like it would be the same for men. I think men are a little bit more logical. Like, for instance, if men's sports were boring, all right, bro, like you get paid what you produce for. You know what I mean? I heard that the Women's World Cup after they won, they were saying that they wanted to get paid exactly the same as the guys for their World Cup. It's not the same thing.
But do you think so? Like, let's put it in, you know, different sports get different pay. For instance, you have tennis. Women in tennis make bread.
Oh, for sure.
Williams per cup, you're making millions of dollars.
Yeah, for sure.
Per tour.
Do you think men are complaining about that?
No, because they make money.
Yeah, they make money, but she's making that money.
Bread.
Yeah.
But also, like, I thought you look at it like that goes into like we have different sports who get different pay. Physicality of football, they're almost at the bottom tier. But you have golf, who's getting paid hella bread.
Yeah, they do. So
I know there's technicalities to golf.
Yeah,
it's a very technical sport.
It's not that easy, guys.
But you have somebody who's literally putting their life on the line, who's getting paid less.
Like who?
Football, easy. Football.
You talking about women?
Football players. No, I'm talking about just in the realm of
Oh, of course,
yeah,
of course.
So that I feel like it goes with.
Are you asking like why they get paid less?
But here's the thing: those are team sports.
Yeah,
these are individuals. Well, golf is an individual sport.
And also, it's international sport.
Yeah,
football is American.
That's true.
So I think it's also not to cut you off, but like the league in itself has a big role in how much the players make. So for example, and like the fans, like the WNBA, the reason why the girls don't make that much money is because like you're not bringing in that much. Like people don't care because it's not that interesting.
It's not.
If it was more interesting, like I'm not saying they should go in lingerie and start shooting.
Hey, man,
but that's it. Like that might get the ratings up.
If women started playing basketball in lingerie, your ratings would be.
And you're gonna make more money.
But that's how you had the lingerie football league.
Yeah, we should check the numbers on the lingerie
Shout
football
out to
league.
LFL.
They still
shout out to I didn't know they had that.
I seen a clip of it.
Really?
The other day. Yeah.
So they're in lingerie?
Yeah, they're playing like lingerie.
Yeah.
I would go to
Are they making money?
We got to look into that.
I gotta look into that.
They play in like small venues.
Yeah.
They be decking.
It's like arena football, but it's like they're literally in lingerie and pads.
It's fire.
Like, and they're like beating the shit out of each other.
Gotcha.
So
yeah. But yeah, that's just, you know, our thoughts on equal pay. Again, look, man, I have a lot of women in my family. You know what I mean? I love women, but it all comes down to your production. Like if me and you have the same job, and I'm just producing more than you, I should get paid more.
Okay, so
right?
it's like we have the same job, which we technically kind of do.
Right.
But again, like I'm doing more. So let's say, and it also goes within your scope. So if we talk about sports, like, okay, women playing basketball. And there's also softball too. They're underpaid as well.
Yeah.
Or I'm not sure if they're really paid anything.
Barely.
But do you think what do you guys think could be done to actually turn it around? Or if there is a way to turn it around?
I don't think people care to turn it around. And honestly, because like, would I ever watch like a women's football playoff game? I doubt it. Especially right now with my life. I'm so busy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the average consumer out there probably wouldn't watch it either. It's just, I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll take time. Maybe in time it'll
Right.
change. But as of right now, I just don't see it.
I don't think it'll ever change just because we live in a capitalistic society. If women were providing as much value as the men were, I think they would get paid this exact amount.
I mean,
Or the men would actually get pushed out.
To be fair, though, there's other fields where women kill men.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the corn industry. Women are killing men in that industry.
Nursing.
Like,
I mean, bro,
like,
bro pick corn, but nursing.
you know, the corn industry, women are getting way more money than the men, and the men are working harder. If we're being honest. So yeah, that's let's get to another question, bro. Another comment. Go ahead.
Let's see. Question for the female guest: how often do jealous girlfriends of your male clients harass you?
Good question.
actually, never.
Really?
Yeah.
Not one like
No.
jealous girlfriend?
No.
Really?
Because
Okay.
I really just be like, I'm the type of person, like, especially if I'm coming to your space, first off, I'm going to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Career. Like, I would talk to you before I talk to him. So, but I also, like, during COVID, like, I was doing bottle service. So I was doing bottle service. So, like, I'm used to having to serve tables where, like, there's a male, there's a female. I'm going to address that woman first, just to know, like, I'm not a threat. And then go like, hey, how are you? What is like, go to him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just a matter of like how you carry yourself, how you present yourself, and the respect factor that goes with it. And if I'm working on him in front of you, like I'd rather you be, because most of the time when I'm working on somebody is in the living room, like it's in an open space. So it's like I'm cool with you being right there. Like I prefer you. I prefer you be right here. Like I'm perfectly fine with that. Like I don't have anything to hide at the end.
Wait, are you working on these athletes and they're basically like nude? No.
Nah, like some are, some not, but like you have the towel, like there's like
Yeah, they have that little ass towel.
No, it's a big ass towel.
It's a big ass towel.
But a lot of times, like if I'm stretching, but like if I'm actually stretching somebody, go put on your pants.
Yeah.
Like we not doing that.
God, you're gonna have such a hard time like keeping that profession and being in a relationship because you know it's just tough.
It's a lot. It's
tough.
a
like you're
big
touching men.
Yeah,
professional men. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Wait, I gotta add to that.
Yeah,
because I know it was directed towards the women,
mm-hmm.
but I've lost female clients because the boyfriend was jealous.
Really?
Why don't we ever talk about that?
That's a double standard. Yeah, that's a double standard.
Crazy double standard.
Yeah.
Like I can count on my one hand like 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Like the girl was like, "Yeah, my boyfriend was just like, nah, like I can't work with you anymore. I'm sorry, my boyfriend's just not comfortable." And it's like,
but also like men, I mean. It's how women are territorial, men are territorial.
Oh, for sure.
Like you over here getting my woman fine.
Yeah.
Like,
why can't I do it? It's like it's not your.
It's not even that. It's like you seeing her sweat, almost half naked. I'm trying to get her right for me. Like,
yeah.
And you have to adjust her and correct her movements. Like, nah, fam, that ain't cool.
Yeah, no, I get
that is true. How do you feel about that? Would you let your girl get like a personal trainer, like with him, like rub it? Because that actually that's over my mind.
Like imagine he's like big and he's swole, like he get her right.
Here's the thing. We live in a city where almost all the women here want to stay in shape.
Yeah.
The competition here is crazy. Like back in Maryland, girls rarely go to the gym. They don't really have to.
Right.
Here in Miami, if you're not in the gym, bro, you're slacking.
People live in the gym here.
Yeah, they live in the gym here, and it's because they have to compete, right?
Yeah.
They're competing for suitors.
Yeah.
So for me personally, if I had a girl, and I mean, I feel like I really wouldn't trip over that. Because then by that point, I'd have such a connection with her where I'd be like, yo, just don't make me look stupid. You know what I mean? Don't disrespect me. Don't let the dude get behind you while you're doing a squat. Don't do no stupid shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. Again, it all really comes down to there's this saying that a man will do whatever a woman allows him to.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if the woman is respectful and she respects her mate, she's not gonna allow none of that.
What about the massage?
Nah, I ain't doing massages.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
You doing a massage? I was
yeah.
my head. I was thinking that's territorial. I'm not letting my girl get a massage every second.
I don't allow a man to massage me.
So you never got a massage? You never went and got a massage with your girl?
I did.
Or you never let your?
But she got it with a woman.
Yeah, like I get female masseuse.
You're right.
Yeah. And I mean, and I've never got massaged by a guy. I've always got massaged. Yeah, I always got massaged by a woman. I'd feel really weird if a guy was massaging me.
I don't think men should get massaged by.
Because you got to think about, you're in a very vulnerable position, and you know, all of a sudden the guy's just like touching.
I would never let that shit.
It's like the tuck in the towel, like a accidental tuck.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not rocking with that, bro.
Nah.
Any
shout
other
out
questions?
to the Turkish baths.
Yo, shout out to the chat too, man, for great questions. We're gonna get ready to wrap it up soon. We got to get ready for the nighttime show.
We got 2 more questions.
All right, go ahead. Let's get some.
Question to the trainers: how do you feel about Joe Rogan's accusation of The Rock using steroids? Have you had a client in that situation of being accused of steroids?
Hold up. He accused him of that?
When was this?
Yeah, Rock definitely uses steroids,
bro. But those are 2 like big figures right there. That's kind of crazy. I for some reason I'd feel like they'd be like friends or some shit. You know what I mean?
The Rock has to take something. Bro.
Look, man, The Rock. I don't know, but he's not looking like that off just the gym. I could be wrong.
Even for that long of a time, bro. Like
he's also half Samoan, half black. Polynesians have.
They are big. They really big.
Like he is half Samoan.
Like they are pretty big, and I guess like when you get fit with it, because a lot of Samoans aren't fit, so you can't really.
You know what? To be fair, he was a big guy.
Yeah.
He was a big guy. Yeah.
And his grandfather and father were athletes.
Yeah.
So.
He was a big guy. So maybe, I mean, and I know that the most important part of like the gym is the diet, right?
Mm-hmm.
The diet and the sleep.
Yeah.
So who knows, man? Maybe he really is like that.
Man, I think The Rock. I don't think he's off the roids, bro. He just looks jacked. He's 50. Like,
you don't
we'll
think
check
he
it
takes
out.
Anything like testosterone or what is it called?
Testosterone. So
TRT.
Honestly, like people take supplements, especially if you're an actor, they be off mad shit. Like
and
it's not. It may not be roids, but it may be like.
What about like SARM
shit? It could be some shit.
There's so many like new
there's so much shit you can put in your body.
Supplements that are not tested.
Yeah.
So like you could be taking some mysterious object that was just manufactured and not even
Russia.
Right, hold on real quick. I know this isn't a question, but let me ask you guys this, because this shit is stupid crazy.
Yeah.
Bruh.
How do you guys feel about that guy that was telling people that he was like,
you talking about the Liver King?
Yeah, the liver guy, and come to find out he was on steroids. Like he was telling people to like eat like raw liver and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then come to find out this dude was just on steroids.
Yeah, in 12 years he kept denying it.
Bro, think about how many people he convinced to do that shit.
So they bought his products, et cetera,
That's
et cetera.
crazy. See, like I saw it, and then like a lot of the shit that be on the gram, you be like,
yeah.
Especially like when you're in our industry, like you see that and be like, I could have told y'all that.
Yeah.
Like
That's
y'all believe anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
That's the
really go
worst
do your
part.
research.
But to be fair, the dude was consistently saying like for 12 years.
12 years.
That's a long time. If
didn't
if someone tells you something long
I don't
enough,
do
you're gonna
soap
start
and
to
shit.
believe it.
Well, I mean,
I will look it up.
to be honest.
Well, yeah, but you're older now, though. A lot of the people he's influencing probably are like teenage.
But he was really deep
kids.
into it, bro. He never groomed his beard, his hair, none of that. He said, I only use water. I use my sweat is my natural like habitat. I'm like, bro, what?
Yeah. Yo, that guy should really be ashamed of that, though, because he
yeah.
really took a lot of people's money. He lied to them.
I
Yeah, he's getting sued.
He got sued for like what, 20 million?
Wow.
plus?
Okay. Shout out to him. Hope they win.
Yeah, that's straight. Like the thing with the industry is this. I'll be quick on this, but like it's straight a lot of cap on social media.
Yes.
And the best thing I can tell you, the viewers, is like just do your research. Like actually, like I know a lot of people, like whether you went to school or not, but like whatever somebody's saying, you have access to Google on your phone, Google it, and then just check and make sure the source is credible. If you listen to what everybody on Instagram and YouTube tells you to do, like you're gonna get finessed.
Yeah, agreed.
Just be smart.
In real life, if you see someone, can you tell if they're on steroids or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell.
Bro,
That's like
even if they're super big, like,
and they got like how vascular they are,
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
some
yeah.
people
So-
have that pump that's just like, damn, like that's the goal.
all right, so you
Yeah.
see my cousin when he was over here. You think he's
Yeah.
on steroids?
Well, I didn't really see him like that, but like he was just a tall guy. He didn't look like he was on steroids.
Mhm.
I mean, to
He's not-
piggyback
he's
off
not.
that, that's like your
Yeah.
Insta fitness models who are all of a sudden like they got a BBL, but like I've been working out, I've been doing like no.
That's
Yeah.
the craziest thing about the industry.
That's
bro.
so it's kind of like don't believe everything you see. I'm like she got a BBL.
Like how
Yeah.
you got a BBL and you promoting booty.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you'd be like, oh, I worked out for
Right,
this.
right.
I did.
No,
I
but
ate.
they're not telling people that. And look, back to the main thing, man. I'll say this. Joe Rogan and The Rock are two people that I look up to a lot. I read a lot of them, and certain times of like down moments, I've looked into both of them. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that accusation, but either way,
It doesn't matter what you think.
Shout out Rock.
Shout out to The Rock, man. Let's get to the last one before we get ready for the nighttime show.
Miyazaki Lee. Question for the trainers: has your race held you back with celebs compared to non-black trainers? Any racism stories?
Fucking question, man. Good question.
Honestly, for me, no. I got lucky that I'm in an era of Black women empowerment. So everybody is like, I want a Black female trainer. Like, I'm going to support your business because one, it's a small business. Two, because you're a woman of color. So for me, no, not really.
I'd say if anything, it's easier for you because you're a woman.
Yeah.
Aren't most athletes Black?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
just
they
the
are.
industry.
So they probably
Yo, imagine if all the athletes were like, you know what? Fuck this shit. We're not gonna play. Bro, they would cripple.
Like the lockout.
They would,
But
actually like lock out, because a lot of times they'll lock out and they'll lock out for a few days and get paid and go back out there. But yeah, no, there's still a lot of racism going on in sports. So, but how do you feel about that? Has your race held you back?
Nah, I think my race is giving me an advantage, to be honest.
How so?
I think genetically, I'm 100% Haitian, so like I think like genetically I naturally have like a pretty good physique, and since like I work out consistently, like versus like no offense, but like there's other races that don't have the best genetics. They may age by the time they're 30. I have some high school like classmates that, you know, now they dead look like they're 40 and 50 and balding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that helps because in our industry, appearance is everything. How you look, like you're a walking representation, you're a walking billboard of your product.
Yeah.
So you got to look the part and walk the walk and talk the talk.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yo, shout out to the chat, man. You guys have been fucking amazing the whole show. We've gone over an hour now. We got to get ready for the nighttime show. Shout out to the guests, man. You guys were actually phenomenal. Their links are gonna be in the description.
Yep.
Hit up my boy too. He has a course, and if you guys want to get on the jet skis, man, hit him up as well. Fucking phenomenal show today, guys. Don't forget, we have a whole bunch of upgrades coming up this weekend. So next weekend we're actually going to change things up a little bit. We're going to have more guests. It's going to be 4 guests instead of 2. And then don't forget that Basil and Josh are doing the whole cruise situation once we hit to 50K subscribers. So make sure you join the Discord, though. You have to be on the Discord.
It's going to be lit, bro. I'm getting a photographer. I'm getting a videographer. It's going to be me, Josh, Anwar. Hopefully Eric's going to push up too. And then, you know, it's going to be lit.
Bro, I don't know if I could do
the
the cruise, though, because, like, I like to be in control. Like, I don't even like flying, bro.
Yeah.
I hate being not in control. I hate that shit.
I can't do a cruise.
In a cruise,
Well, you don't like being in the middle of water?
There you go.
I don't even like to fly. I just fly because it's faster than driving.
Yeah, a lot
Like
of
like
people
a
have that
flight
phobia.
a flight from here to Baltimore is like 2.5 hours. A drive from here to Baltimore is 18 hours.
That's
2.5 hours.
Yeah,
From here to Baltimore?
Yeah, 2.5.
What? It's that quick? Hell no.
Yeah.
There's no way.
How you gonna tell me? I fly back and forth all the time.
It's like
2 hours.
2.5, bro. Yeah,
Damn.
2.5.
That's crazy.
But yeah, man. Thank you to the chat. You guys have been amazing. We'll get ready. We'll see you guys at the nighttime show. Peace.
Cactus.